In the modern world, everything we do, from studying to medicine, business, trading, or even communicating with friends and family, relies on power. Power and its supply underlies every aspect of our lives. Those who live in Nigeria's great cities have access to the mains grid, the national network that brings electricity into homes and businesses. That means those in rural communities have been overlooked and condemned to live off-grid. President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan's reforms addresses this challenge directly, lighting up rural Nigeria.
The big vision is to ensure that Nigerians not only have enough power supply all through the country, and what we wanted to demonstrate was that we could actually give people power supply 24/7 that is totally off-grid.
Mankind has become dependent on electric power for about 300 years. For us to move forward as a country and be where we want to be, we have to get the power sector right.
For those interested in developing Nigeria's power infrastructure, the job poses several serious challenges.
Right now, we are still struggling with nearly 30 million households that are not connected to the national grid, and that is very significant. We are hoping that by 2020, 75% of all Nigerians would have been connected to the national grid, or at least have alternative power supply.
The challenge we faced as a country was a sector that was very inefficient. We're still dealing with those inefficiencies. That's a big challenge we inherited.
What the government did not quite do was to match the infrastructure commitment and development with the population and the shift in demographic, situation in the country. So you find out that in some of our big cities, virtually every transformer is heavily overloaded.
Delivering electricity to every home and business is not a straightforward thing. In order to build a working power network, every bolt must be in place. Every component, from the power station that generates the electricity, to the substation that makes the power transmission more efficient, to the transmission lines themselves snaking across the landscape, before finally the local transformers and distribution network delivers power to homes and businesses. Everything has to be in place, every circuit assembled, tested and fully functioning before one light bulb can be turned on. This requires huge capital investment, long-term planning and delivery timetables, and needs large numbers of highly trained engineers to build and maintain the national infrastructure. The lack of such investment has meant that historically rural communities have been condemned to live off-grid, outside the national power network.
And the rural communities are the productive force of our agricultural sector. Day-to-day eating and consumption comes from the small householdings. So they contribute majorly to the GDP of the country. Now, the minister, Professor Chinedu Nebo, discussed with the president, and they came up with the idea of Operation Light Up Rural Nigeria.
According to Mr. President's power sector reform, his directive that we find a solution in a situation that appeared to be impossible. And what we wanted to demonstrate was that we could actually give people power supply 24/7 that is totally off-grid. Nigerians never knew it was possible. And the only way to do that was through renewable energy.
In 2014, the federal government flagged off 2 pioneering test studies, providing solar power to off-grid communities by installing local electricity networks.
When you look at the entire, not just Nigeria, but even Africa, the entire continent of Africa, if you add all the resources of gas, diesel, and other oils, fuels, and so on, that is not even up to 30% of the solar potential for Africa. The amount of money needed to take the national grid to the rural communities, tens of thousands of communities like that, no country can actually do it. So we wanted to show that in situ, that every household has its own small solar system, or we have a mini grid or microgrid for the communities.
My name is Engineer Ifeanyi Eze. I'm the consultant on Operation Light Up Rural Nigeria, Ministry of Power, Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's with respect to using alternative energy to light up Nigerian villages, more especially those villages that are living off the national grid. Right now we are leaving Abuja City to a remote village called Shape Village. The government commitment in ensuring lighting point at every corner, at every doorstep of every Nigerian, in no distance time, lighting point in rural Nigeria and even in the urban city will be a thing of the past. Before now, the people living in this village, they do not have knowledge of electricity. They don't have means to electricity, no means to charging the phones. All these houses here are already being powered by the solar energy hub station, being designed by us under the Federal Ministry of Power. How are you doing? Yeah, good.
The local networks in Shape and Durami use solar panels, whether on homes or a central array, linked by a small local network to provide power to people's homes and streets in the evening hours.
So we were able to design a system whereby the photons of the sun are being absorbed into our system here, and then from our system here, we were able also to design some regenerating gadgets which regenerate the energy already being absorbed through our inverters to the regenerating system, then sent through our transmitter, which from there it will be distributed through the grid across to various villages where these energies are being required.
This is just the base station. So when you get to that place where the outputs have gotten to, you can be able to see the appliances who have used solar to generate.
For the past 7 months that this project was commissioned by the president, light has never blinked for 1 second. You can testify this by the dwellers of this village. Constant, efficient power supply. So you can see there is life in the village. They are playing their music, they are enjoying their fun, they have light, they are enjoying, so you can, wow.
Since Goodluck bring the light, solar light for us, we are now enjoying the music. Like me, I always like to play music. I always like to dance it. And when I'm dancing it, I used to praise Goodluck and God that placed him in that seat. We used to stay in darkness before the electric. Then Goodluck now come and give us the solar energy. The solar is working very well. We enjoy the solar more than using generator. I always play music with it and they're always happy with it.
Now, the problem with solar technology in the past was that for you to have just a little kilowatt, you needed the whole mass of solar. And then after that was the issue of being able to store it. But there's a progressive march of technology over time. The president's vision is that let us tap on what God has given to us.
This is a booster station. One of our advantage of this regenerating power booster station is, in case there is need to work at the energy central hub station, these substations and boosters will keep the community alive, where we can just do little maintenance and then switch over. So it is in part of our design and effort to ensure that on no account should there be a power blink.
God is very, very wonderful. Our children now, like in the other days, there's no light in the village, but now they are reading with this our lights, and like in the night you see them here happy, play, and all those things. So even children, they are even happy for this our lights, and the light is not disappointed. We are using this light 24 hours. 24 hours. It's really 24 hours. It's really 24 hours.
It didn't just end there. There is this design we made. This is a multiple energy charging mobile charger. This mobile charger assists the rural dwellers to charge their phones. You see somebody already is charging a phone here. Lock it and go. You can call any part of the world.
When you look at Durumi and look at Shape and look at Waru, you'll find out that little bits of small industries or little outfits are springing up here and there. People are setting up hairdressing salons, barbing salons. You know, people are doing some electrical works here and there, and people are even shopping at night. These things were not so before.
Without the light, you can't feed your drink, and without the television, the customer will not feel comfortable. Since we made it solar, we are comfortable. Even though you can see now the village is proving, people are still coming in. Yeah, it's good for business. It's better than Abuja. So that I want to thank Mr. President, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for giving us this solar. Thank him very much. Even the people in the village, we thank him.
These are Nigerian solutions for Nigeria's challenges, designed by Nigerians who understand the local economy and market, built and maintained by Nigerian engineers and the local communities.
Now with this Operation Light Up Nigeria, there's a major component of training, of local capacity to be able to maintain these things.
The present administration is also looking at creating employment for the youths. Like you can see, these are part of the youths that have been trained on installations, constructions, and then maintenance, because the government and the Ministry of Power is highly committed to sustainability of this project, not just setting up a project and tomorrow it will go down.
It's going to be a dearth of professional engineers, technical and technological people. The facts are very obvious. We're expecting to hit 20,000 megawatts by 2020. Today, we are delivering 4,000 megawatts. You can see some of the distribution companies that are private companies are now hiring hundreds of engineers. We've been able to, between last year and this year, hire at least 1,000 engineers. We are training a lot more than that.
NAPTIN, the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, is taking up the challenge of producing highly skilled engineers to meet Nigeria's needs.
We carried out an analysis and discovered that to achieve 40,000 megawatts by year 2020, the Nigeria power sector will require technical manpower of about 17,443.
We designed the program, National Graduate Skill Development Program, in order to give them skill in the power sector so that they can be employable. We actually need engineers. So the best thing to do is they will need people to work in generation, they will need to work in DISCO, they will need people to work in TCN. And so the best thing is, let's first of all start with mechanical and electrical engineers, because they're the people that actually are very prominent when it comes to power sector. We'd say, okay, Nigerians, apply, not foreigners. because actually that's what we call local content for now.
Exactly.
So Nigerians apply first. Let's see those that can operate this system for us.
Naptin gave me the opportunity to have a hands-on experience. Here in Naptin, I'm now an instructor. The most satisfying aspect of my job is being able to look at the young ones who want to come into this industry, giving them encouragement, and to tell them that they can do it. If I'm out here, if I've been able to achieve this, that they can do more, that out there, much more is expected from them. My own dad was a civil engineer, and growing up, I'd always dreamt of becoming an engineer. He had inspired me so much. So by the time I finished high school, there was no going back.
I'm Chukwudum Okeke. I'm an electrical instructor with National Power Training Institute of Nigeria. The government's ideology is to get a lot of young people in. So there's a lot of possibility, there's a lot of hope right now for people to get into the industry. Because Nigerians have been yearning for a lot of change, and the power industry is the starting point for this change that Nigerians have been yearning for. If you get power right, then most every other thing will fall into place. Transport, businesses, especially businesses, and it's going to be amazing. The expansion is just going to be great. It's going to be terrific.
In fact, such is the government's commitment to meet the demand for Nigerian power engineers, they're investing in a new national headquarters for Naptin.
This is the permanent site of National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, Naptin, and we intend to have there the School of Generation, School of Transmission, and School of Distribution. We're bringing in the equipment, we're bringing in the laboratory, and then a live kind of a power station.
The new HQ is situated just outside Abuja, but their operation and training centres are truly national.
We have all the training centers in the 6 geopolitical zones to make it possible that our students can access, all these for wherever they are. But the main thing would be a kind of a hub of training in the West African sub-region.
In terms of building capacity for engineers, I believe Naptin is #1 in Africa. After the training, honestly, the engineer is a hot cake, it's a takeaway.
This government, the government of President Goodluck Jonathan, is so determined to improve the lives of Nigerians that the average Nigerian citizen will benefit from the transformation agenda.
At every point, we need it. For the social level, if you want children to go pass exams, they must go have access to their laptops, their computers. For our little ones, babies to be alive, we must have all the vaccines properly kept for sanitation and hygiene purposes. So everything depends on power. That's why we must light up Nigeria.
I believe that electricity industrializes and helps poverty to come down, even in these little communities. There was a massive rural-urban drift. And that massive rural-urban drift has not really ended. You see that it will check these demographic shifts, and the rural-urban drift will be curtailed to a point where it is manageable. And then the government will be able to plan properly and appropriately, and then poverty will be reduced substantially.
You can see houses being sprung out, even you can see yourself. This is another house to be constructed here. So more than 70 houses just sprang in this village within 6 months of the commissioning of this Operation Light Up Rural Nigerian Solar Energy Project. If you go to the back and downtown there, you can see a lot of building because they have constant, uninterrupted power supply.
Halting the population flow from village to cities has many benefits. Firstly, it offers people a chance to live productive, happy lives outside urban areas and means they're not forced to make difficult decisions but allowed to make positive choices.
It was bushy, nobody knows it, but with the help of light, so everybody pick interest in this particular area. That is why many people, if you move around, you will see that much of the building is going on right now. And even our children, initially they were in the dark, so they can't read very well. But right now, at any moment in time, they will enter and on the light, then start their studies. I really know that my business also will move because one after another they will like to build. There is a lot of change.
A stable population allows government to plan and provide for the people, investing in schools, medical care, and power supplies in the right places. The government's reforms not only transforms the economy in the villages, but also creates demand for skilled Nigerian workers.
I learned from stepping down the wire, and I can wire a house, somebody's house, and more can do the stay home. I wire my own room and many rooms around this community.
My name is Anna. This is my house. We thank the government, we thank God for this light because before we were living dark and the place was not open like this. The time we were not having this solar, but now that we have it, life is better than before.
Life was not like that good, but when the solar came, life was good. And I like the solar. There is light. Yes, I use it and read.